Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. 844 days less the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine's Global Peace Summit ended yesterday in Switzerland, reports European Pravda. Out of about 100 participants, 78 signed a joint declaration. In it, they underline their determination to refrain from threatening or using force against any state's territorial integrity or political independence, as well as the principles of sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity that all states, including Ukraine, live up to. The declaration states that any use of nuclear energy and nuclear installations must be safe, secure, and environmentally sound. Ukrainian nuclear power plants and installations, including Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, must operate safely and securely under full sovereign control of Ukraine and in line with International Atomic Energy Agency principles and under its supervision. Any threat or use of nuclear weapons in the context of the ongoing war against Ukraine is inadmissible. Global food security depends on uninterrupted manufacturing and supply of food products. In this regard, free, full, and safe commercial navigation, as well as access to seaports in the Black and Azov Seas, are critical. Attacks on merchant ships in ports and along the entire route, as well as against civilian ports and civilian port infrastructure, are unacceptable. Food security must not be weaponized in any way. Ukrainian agricultural products should be securely and freely provided to interested third countries. All prisoners of war must be released, all deported and unlawfully displaced Ukrainian children and all other Ukrainian civilians who were unlawfully detained must be returned to Ukraine. The United Nations Charter, including the principles of respect for the territorial integrity and sovereignty of all states, can and will serve as a basis in achieving a comprehensive, just, and lasting peace in Ukraine. During a press conference at the end of the Peace Summit, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy stated that the work on the second Peace Summit has already started, reports Suspilne. He stressed that work on the aspects of the peace plan will take months rather than years. And once the plan is complete and every step is worked out, the path will be cleared for the second Peace Summit, and thus the end of the war, as well as a just and permanent peace. At the same time, the head of state stated that Kremlin leader Vladimir Putin's ultimatum on the first day of the Peace Summit nullified all previous declarations about Russia's alleged preparedness for negotiations. Putin said that Russia will be ready for a ceasefire only when Ukraine leaves whole Lugansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhzhia and Kherson regions of Ukraine, as well as gives up the idea of joining NATO. Quote, "In this case, the person absolutely provoked and frankly scared the entire world by stating that he was not going to end the war, but would continue to seize territory. This is a huge mistake that will benefit us." Behind the scenes, practically everyone agreed that with this statement, Putin sent the message to the entire world that everything he had previously said about his desire to end the war had been nullified, unquote, Zelenskyy said. The president added that if Russia were to attend the second peace summit, it would imply that they decided to end the war or that the world forced them. He emphasized that Russia doesn't have to wait for a next peace summit to start negotiations with Ukraine, but it has to leave Ukrainian territories first. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. At the Peace Summit in Switzerland, the Prosecutor General of Ukraine, Andriy Kostin, informed that according to confirmed data alone, the Russian occupiers killed more than 12,000 civilians, including 551 children, reports NVUA. According to Kostin, law enforcement officers have already documented almost 130,000 cases of war crimes committed by the Russian occupiers, including 301 cases of sexual violence. Dmytro Lubinets, the Verkhovna Rada Commissioner for Human Rights, emphasized that all people in Russian captivity are subject to systematic torture. There are at least 14,000 such cases confirmed. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a commercial initiative of just two people, and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we're getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.